In fact, how could you dislike him? You never saw him. He was in his basement all the time. That's a separate issue, but I've written 5 books about that, which we can. That's a subject for another speech I can give. Maybe maybe the day after the election. So that was what happened in 2020. There are about 18% of the population who hate both Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, but they say they're going to vote. The election is going to be decided by that group of people. A lot of them are watching tonight. So if you're going to try to look at this not through the prism that you have and the views that you have, try to look at through the prism of somebody who is disquieted or irritated or simply unsure of both candidates, and then decide who you thought won the debate. If you're a partisan, of course you can cheer, that's all you want. But if you want an insight into where direction the election is going, try to put a different hat on tonight. Try to put the hat on of someone who's skeptical of both candidates. And you might get a better perspective to see how the undecided or the double haters will vote. Now, the other thing that we have to understand is we have 2 challenges. Kamala Harris has a challenge because she's trying to hide from the American people, especially anything that she believes. And Donald Trump has a challenge because we'll just say that he has an irrepressible personality. The biggest debate over the debate tonight was whether the mics were going to be on. Joe Biden made the fatal mistake of keeping the mics off. And look what it did for him. It drove him right out of the race. Donald Trump, seeing that, made the smart decision that the mics were going to be off for this debate because there were 2 debates, they were agreed upon at the same time, let's have the same rules. Kamala Harris fought until last night to have the mics open. That's how important she thought this was. Because she thought that if Donald Trump was able to interrupt, he would, shall we say, mansplain himself and constantly interrupt a woman. And it might not be the prettiest thing that you have ever seen. So the mics are off, that's to Trump's advantage. Also, you will notice tonight her podium is significantly shorter. This is the biggest height difference of any presidential candidates in history. Trump is 6'3", even discounting his usual exaggeration, he's 6'2". Kamala Harris says she's 5'4", she's really 5'3". I stood next to her, she's 5'3". So there's basically a foot worth of difference. So they've had to shorten her podium to compare to Trump's podium. A subtle difference. Now, even Hillary Clinton was taller. At least in height, if not in moral character. The other thing that you finally have to know before I go to questions is this. Kamala Harris has tried very, very hard to keep her views from the American people. But the mask has slipped twice in the last 24 hours. First, someone, believe it or not, CNN, unearthed a 2019 ACLU questionnaire that she filled out when she was president, in which she supported what Art Linkletter used to say were the darndest things. Everything from defunding the police to supporting the subsidies for transgender surgery by illegal aliens. You can't make this stuff up. The second thing that happened was brought out by the liberal New Republic today, a very progressive magazine. They noticed that she waited 2 months to load the policy pages into her campaign website. For 2 months, there were no issues on her campaign website. There was just joy everywhere. And then she finally loaded them yesterday, and the New Republic editor said, this looks a little strange, so he ran through a couple algorithms and he discovered that what she had done is she had taken large chunks, word for word, from the Biden campaign website and just made them her own. Now, plagiarism is always a bad thing, but when you're plagiarizing Joe Biden, you're even in more trouble. So think about this. What is Kamala Harris's campaign built on? Besides joy, it's built on change. I am actually the change candidate. Well, she just proved with the policy papers that she uploaded to her website that she can be the change candidate because she's not only the Biden-Harris administration, she literally is the Biden-Harris campaign. Because Biden campaign's policy statements are her statements. If Donald Trump doesn't bring that up tonight, it will be, shall we say, a lost opportunity. If Kamala Harris does not bring up the fact that she's filled the front row with all the former Trump aides who won't support him anymore, she will have made a lost opportunity. So that's what you might want to look for that's not, shall we say, obvious to the naked eye. And if you have any questions, I'll be happy to take them. And I hope that Dick Morris comes and can even further enlighten you.
She made it. I'd kill her.
Who's first?